How Coyote Stole Fire, and The Rabbit Dines the Bear, a Cherokee story. Audio and visuals brought to you by ThoughtNet Solutions. Long ago, and the time before humans had fire, the world was dark and cold. The animals and the people shivered through long winters, eating cold food and huddling for warmth. Fire existed, but it was kept by the fire beings, powerful spirits who lived high up in the mountains and guarded the flames selfishly, using them only for themselves. The people pleaded for warmth, and the animals gathered to talk. "We must do something," said Coyote, the trickster and problem solver of the animal world. "The fire beings hoard the flame, but if we work together, we can bring fire back to everyone." The forest animals devised a daring plan, and a few animals volunteered themselves. Coyote would sneak into the fire beans' camp and steal a flame. Then, like a relay race, each animal would carry the fire for part of the journey, passing it on if chased. "Oh, let's please do it before the blizzard comes," said Squirrel. "Our people are freezing." They waited until the fire beings were asleep. Coyote crept through the shadows, silently climbing the steep mountain path, using all of his cleverness and agility. At the top of the mountain, Coyote spotted the fire, burning hot and bright in the middle of the fire beans' camp. He waited for the right moment. Then, mustering all his courage, he burst with speed and snatched a burning stick from the flames. The fire beans shouted and gave chase. Coyote ran down the mountain as fast as the wind, his tail trailing smoke, but he could feel them gaining. "Quick!" he yelled, and Squirrel took the fire. He leapt from tree to tree, dodging branches, carrying the flame in his bushy tail, which turned black from the soot, which is why squirrels have dark tails to this day. Just as Squirrel was losing wind, he passed the fire to Frog, who leapt toward the river. He held the fire in his mouth as he jumped from rock to rock, but the heat burned his lips, splitting them, which is why frogs have wide mouths today. Then, Frog tossed the fire to Snake, who slithered through the grass. He kept the flame in his mouth, burning the inside, and ever since, snakes have forked tongues and flick them out to cool themselves. Finally, Coyote took the fire again and dashed to the people who were waiting at the edge of the woods. With a howl of triumph, "Oh, oh, oh!" Coyote delivered the fire to the people of the land. They cheered, building the first campfires, warming themselves, cooking food, and lighting the night. So the fire beings gave up the chase. The fire was free now. Too many had seen it, felt its heat, tasted its power. Thanks to Coyote and his allies, the people had fire forever. The Rabbit Dines the Bear, a Cherokee story. One fine day, Bear invited his great friend Rabbit to come dine with him. Rabbit made sure to show up early, for he was looking forward to Bear's beans. Bear answered the door and let him in, but soon realized he had no grease for the beans. So Bear quickly took out his little knife and he cut a slit in his side. He let the oil run out until they had enough to finish cooking the beans. Rabbit, seeing this, looked surprised and thought to himself, "Gee, that's a handy way. I think I'll try that." The next day, Rabbit invited Bear for dinner. When Bear came, the rabbit said, "I have beans for dinner too. Now I'll get the grease for them." So then Rabbit took a knife and drove it into his side, but instead of oil, a stream of blood gushed out, and he nearly passed out. Bear quickly responded and tied up the wound and dressed it. As Rabbit was coming to, the bear scolded him. "You little fool! I'm large and strong, and lined with fat all over. The knife doesn't hurt me. But you're small and lean. You can't do such things. You must learn to ask more questions before jumping to conclusions." The end.